Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, the Flamin' Hot Grilled Cheese Burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
How's your day going?
Going good, thank you, yes.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Bronco Nation will not score. Jackson pours. Each game I score a touchdown. Head to Jackson's on Monday for a 49-cent fountain drink with Let's Go rewards. And don't forget your free banana, Jackson's. Let's go.
It's the all-wheel drive event at Lithia Ford of Boise. From hunting trips to ski trips to trips to Grandma's house. Nobody does AWD like LFB. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Find your sun with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Cold, refreshing, and made for moments like these all year long. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
It's time for the Riley and Ridge Show, presented by Jackson's on Bronco Nation News. The Riley and Ridge Show takes you into the locker room and the coach's office, giving you a unique perspective on Boise State football from 2 guys who know a thing or two about what it takes to win on the blue. Riley Smith was a Campbell Trophy semifinalist and a 4-time Mountain West Scholar athlete who was part of 52 wins and 2 Mountain West championships during his 6 years as a quarterback and tight end with the Broncos. Kent Riddle won 7 conference championships in 13 years as an assistant coach at Boise State while working with the running backs, tight ends, and special teams. He has nearly 3 decades of coaching experience overall, including stops at Army, Colorado, North Texas, and Arkansas State. The Riley and Ridge Show is presented by Jackson's. Need a pick-me-up? Stop into Jackson's for a 16-ounce coffee for just 99 cents with Let's Go rewards. Now, let's go out to the James Kitchen and Bar near Albertson Stadium and join Riley Smith and Kent Riddle for another edition of the Riley and Ridge Show, presented by Jackson's on Bronco Nation News.
What's up, Bronco Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the Riley Ridge Show. And we are here on a post-championship weekend. Feeling good, running back the 3-peat. And we are here at the James and the Sun Cruiser studio. We got a new little sponsor here. Best drinks. Lemonades are my favorite for sure. But we got another familiar face. We got former Boise State safety and championship MVP, Alexander Teubner, dude. Welcome back.
What's up, boys? Thanks for having me.
Welcome, Tubes. Yeah.
And he's
Thanks
also
again.
known statewide right now as Tarps Off King. Running on the field last week.
I thought that was the key to the game.
I would say so, too.
Riley, DJ out there made sure everybody was ready to go from the opening kickoff, and we jumped on them.
No doubt.
But I think it was mostly because Tarps Off
everybody's fired up.
For sure.
I thought I saw a whole section do the same thing.
He could.
Yeah, I want it to be clear. DJ Schramm is the tarps off guy.
He is the tarps off guy.
And he was a part of that. So,
but the best is nobody actually knows when DJ goes tarps off.
Exactly. He wasn't cold at all. Coat. He does have another full coat. But backstory for tarps off, it is big at Boise State because when we run decks and you hit that halfway mark, DJ Schramm started it probably our freshman or sophomore year and got all the upperclassmen to buy in unless they were doing it before. But DJ would yell tarps off halfway through. Everyone would take their tarps off and it was like a second wind.
Yeah.
And we were just looking forward to that rep where we could be able to do it. So DJ definitely set that standard and we just carried it on even as fans now.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, big question here, actually from Kanan. Did you plan tarps off or was it spur of the moment?
Like we said earlier,
I know the answer to this.
Yeah, the planning was sober, but the execution was not. So we everything was planned beforehand to an extent.
There was some confidence juices flowing for sure.
Absolutely.
But it was good. We were hoping it was going to be snowing or raining, making the dramatic effect a little more real, but hey, it was still fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for all the worry about the weather, I mean, it really was pretty nice. I mean,
it was.
The temperature was decent. We didn't quite hit the sellout mark, I don't think, but it was damn close and certainly a good representation of Bronco State or Bronco Nation, but maybe not exactly what we were hoping for.
And I bet it was a lot due to the forecast, like people thinking it was going to be colder, but
and
I know they all wanted to be there.
There were a lot of companies had holiday parties.
Right, yeah, for sure.
Stuff like that planned way in advance. And, I think there were even some people like, yeah, I can be out of town that weekend because there's no chance Boise State's hosted.
That's a good point.
And we sure were. Yeah. And it was a freaking dominating performance.
Oh, my. Madsen, 4 touchdowns in the first half.
Gotta love Mad Dog.
Oh, it was electric. I had a lot of guys at work that were like, is Mad Dog the guy? And I was like, just wait. Because there was obviously some controversy of Mad Dog starting, even though Max was playing well. And I came to work that day. I was like, I told you guys. So now they're definitely Mad Dog believers for sure.
Yeah, there's very few Mad Dog Madsons in all of college football. And, I mean, maybe talk about his unique style of play. You could argue that there might not be any. So
right.
He threw some dimes.
He did. I mean, and even setting the tone, going out with a leg injury and then running one in. He was like, all right, I'll show you guys I'm good to go. But he did throw some dimes. I was fired up.
Yeah, you guys got a little taste of that ultimate competitor that we always talk about with Mad Dog.
Absolutely. And did all 3 running backs score a touchdown? Or
for sure, 2.
I know 2 scored. I thought they hit the hat trick, but I can't remember.
Yeah, no, I think that might be right.
Yeah.
Sire played a tough game. I don't know if he got in the end zone, but he played a good game.
He did. Those boys fired me up. And sitting with some of their parents in the stands, and like I was sitting by Malik's parents in the stands a while ago, and dude, great families, and they're all fired up for each other. So it's cool to see what they talk about in the locker room translates to the families too. They're like, love seeing all these guys out on the field. They're just like building each other up, and it definitely showed.
Yeah, a cool moment in a game is whatever running back in the room scores a touchdown. You see the entire horse stable, they call it.
Oh yeah,
in the end zone celebrating with them. So that's pretty sick.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I thought the whole thing was impressive. Total team effort. I thought the defense kicked ass again, jumped on them, made it easy to jump out early. And then, they hit a couple plays, which a 10-2 team should probably hit a couple plays, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And they hit a couple plays, but the minute it got like even within sniffing distance, I thought we jumped right back on top of him and just got after him and kind of took their will away.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think from a defensive standpoint, maybe 3 drives, right? That a very talented UNLV offense put together. After that, I think they played, I mean, even including those drives, they played a really well-rounded game.
Absolutely. And they knew that going into it. It was like once they hit that point where they're stuffing them over and over again, they're going to start wearing out. And that's exactly what they did. They had some life in them, and then they did a good job of staying ahead, not panicking, and just continuing to play their game of football, and knew it would all work out.
Well, I thought, as soon as it got to whatever, 14 points or whatever, and then we just really kind of dominated the line of scrimmage at that point on both sides, and wouldn't wouldn't let the quarterback. I think we jumped right back up to 21, but wouldn't let the quarterback out of the pocket again. And I just at some point, some of those guys, like that dude can run, their quarterback, and throw the ball on the run, and that was going to be a challenge. And I thought our defense really did an awesome job. And then the offense, once they got it close, kind of taking the wind out of their sails, and then the defense just swamped them at the end. Right. There was nothing left. And, just to steal their thunder like that, I thought was awesome.
It was great. And as always, the Bronco Nation storming the field after and do the celebration down there. I was about to leave, and then we somehow made our way to the field, and that ended up being in the locker room. Yeah. So we were with a bunch of the boys in the locker room, and I felt like the old head. I was like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. But seeing Coach D's speech and run in and do the water and the Bronco song, man, it was unbelievable.
We caught Coach D upstairs right before the press conference.
Yeah.
With Maddox and Ty, I think.
Yeah.
And it was awesome to see those guys up there and the joy in their face and just how to get through it. And then to find out, okay, we didn't make the playoffs, which stunk. And, I had the moment on Sunday morning, like, I don't know. I mean, we're better than James Madison.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, it was going to be hard for the committee to justify that.
Yeah.
But if Boise State and James Madison played, I feel like we'd probably be the favorite.
I agree.
Yeah, 100%.
And part of that's, having coached in the Sun Belt and coached here at Boise State and just knowing a little difference about the two teams or the two leagues even.
Right.
It's a little bit different. But I had that moment Sunday, like, you never know what the committee might do.
Yeah.
We went out and played South Florida, Notre Dame in the non-conference. I couldn't even tell you who James Madison played.
Yeah.
And I'm not taking away anything from them. I think at the end of the day, probably came out the way it should. But, the flip side is the Boise State guys, like, all right, it's game week and then vacation.
Yes. And it's always a good feeling now that, obviously we're all celebrating the championship, but never satisfied. Like the college football playoffs is now the new standard. So it's a cool feeling knowing that we're at a place where that's always going to be our goal and something that's achievable every single year. So pretty cool to see us even have another opportunity when it was a season early on that we thought wasn't going to go the way that we planned to.
And it's hard to give the credit that's due to some of these bowl games, especially with the playoffs being expanded as big as they are. But they get the opportunity to go make a statement about what and back up why they probably should have been or could have been in the college football playoffs against a really good team. So and we've all had experience with UW. I think a lot of alumni have, and we could all probably say we owe them one.
Oh, without question.
We definitely the Chris Peterson Bowl.
Yeah.
So
yeah. It's somebody who's already on here. Oh, it's Murdog. Maybe not. That might not be who I thought it was. But anyway, hearing Coach Pete talk about this matchup, sounds like we have our work cut out to leave with a dub. How do we do this? But I would think it's the same game plan as always. We got to run the ball, be the most physical team. They are a damn good team. I've seen enough of them. Like, this isn't show up and hope for the best.
Yeah.
They're really good, and we're gonna have to play at our best. Gonna have to play physical on the line of scrimmage. They have gone from being like a Pac-12 team to a Big Ten team. They have big physical guys. Yeah. They have speed at the skill positions, and we're gonna have to play really sound and hard and physical.
Yeah, I think you put it good. I think a lot of the former Pac-12 teams, when they went into these new conferences, they continue to try to play Pac-12 football, and it just doesn't.
It's not going to work,
especially in the Big Ten. When you're playing in November, Iowa, December, and you're playing those teams that are built to play in October, November, December. So
you can see it kind of coming down the stretch for USC, right? They're probably a slow convert to trying to play Big Ten style. And they were better this year, but I mean, they struggled a little bit down the stretch. They ended up beating Iowa barely, but you know, some of those more physical teams, like you know, you're playing grown man football at that point.
For sure. And it'll be interesting. This is our last year in the Mountain West, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's a new conference next year. So there's gonna be a lot of buzz around that, but a lot of the same teams, right? So, and whatever conference we're in, we're just gonna play our brand of football. But it will be cool to see a whole new kind of realm of competition and making that Wazoo game a big game like it was last year, and kind of building that rivalry up will be pretty sweet.
Oh, it'll be a blast. I think. Yeah.
Make it easy travel game for everyone.
I'm one of the things I'm probably most disappointed about in the split of the Mountain West, just the way the last 3 years have gone. I wish UNLV was coming to the Pac-12
I
too,
agree,
because I think they're on the ups. You know, they're kind of riding a good thing. It's a big city. They have their thing going.
Yeah, good
and
recruiting.
I wish they were coming to the Pac-12 so we could kind of continue that.
I do too.
That rivalry.
And I know they wish they were coming so they could try to get a win.
Yeah.
But you're right.
Well, I mean, they also, you know, they took the money and stayed home too, right?
Yeah.
Fair.
To a conference, I'm sure they feel like, hey, we should probably dominate this conference. Which good for them. I think it'd be a lot of fun to have them in with San Diego State, Fresno State.
That's all. I just wanted Fresno there.
Yeah.
I was like, I want that to keep going.
Well, I'll tell you, Colorado State hiring Jim Mora.
Yeah,
he's been a really successful coach over his time. You know, this is going to be a competitive league.
For
We'll
sure.
see who Washington State ends up with. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are involved in that with Boise State ties.
Right.
So that's going to be tough. Oregon State hiring Jamarcus Shepard. He hired a couple guys that have Boise State ties. I just think it's like this can be a fun league with a lot of stuff and different than most leagues, very regional, really, other than Texas State.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to turn into a really fun conference.
For sure. And even on the basketball side, I know BJ loves talking about basketball, but being able to play Gonzaga, and that's going to be sweet, going to one of those games and, see Boise State play in that stadium and play
some guy
really good
actually named BJ Rains came in with a big question I'll let you guys answer this, but how different is it playing in an NFL stadium like SoFi compared to a typical Mountain West stadium?
The word I'd use to describe specifically SoFi is kind of almost like corporate, right? It's very pretty. Everything is, all the seats are brand new, right? The lights, all the lights work. They don't have that one bulb that's out like in some of the Mountain West stadiums. But it was an extremely cool experience. Like we both played in it, and I'm glad that we got to. But there's just something about those like small college towns, and kind of circling back to the Mountain West. That's one of the things that I'm thankful for in this conference. We got to play in those small college towns that like fan bases might not be huge, but those close to the university,
like
love
Laramie, Wyoming.
Yeah, like Laramie, Wyoming in November.
Awesome.
You can't feel your lower half.
Seriously.
Yeah. No, but
like Colorado State has an unbelievable stadium, right?
Yeah,
You guys,
yeah.
Like
100%.
if you didn't know how many people actually fit in there, if somebody told you that was an NFL stadium, like you wouldn't necessarily think it's not.
For sure.
Right?
I agree.
Other than pure numbers or size
Right.
or whatever. But
And honestly,
that's a
like
cool stadium.
it really is. And us being able to play in back-to-back NFL stadiums, my last year playing in a Legion, then going to SoFi, it was crazy. Like, SoFi was it felt like a spaceship at some point. It was so big and everything's new, and it was nuts. But also, like, you don't feel the fans as much. Like, obviously we're not filling out NFL stadiums like an NFL are, but being in Laramie and like Albertson Stadium, I've been to a bunch of stadiums.
Because in the Mountain West, Boise State shows up. Most places at kickoff, it was crowded.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
By the end of the game, way more Boise State fans than anybody else.
No doubt.
Generally.
But I agree with Tubes. It's definitely different. I honestly, it's cool playing in those big stadiums, but playing in like Laramie, Wyoming, and Albertson Stadium is.
Wouldn't you say though, like once the game starts?
Yeah,
I mean, all that stuff. I mean, you might hear how loud the crowd is, but you don't really know.
Yeah.
I mean, other than when the game gets out of hand
Yeah.
and you're able to listen to the guy in the front row, what he's yelling at you,
Yeah.
or you're a backup and you're not playing.
Right.
You're listening to the guys at Air Force that know your life story.
Yeah.
Or, you know, something. But, you know, I just always thought, like, once the game started, like, I don't even know where we're at.
Yeah.
I mean,
Even UW, like it was so many people in such a tall stadium that it was almost like a green screen. Like you just kind of tune it out. You don't really notice the fans like you do when you're playing at these other schools in the Mountain West, where it feels like they're more on top of you and they definitely know your life story. But yeah, once you start playing, you're tunnel vision. You zone all that stuff out.
And then another thing too is when we do play in these NFL stadiums, it's not necessarily a home or away game like a typical conference game would be. So whereas you're going into enemy territory and like Fresno when it's packed out, or some of these other ones where you are the enemy, or you're at home where everyone loves you, there it's kind of the 50-50 split where they're cheering on both sides of the ball. So that's another unique part about it.
We had a good question for you, kind of from Kane, and going into the mind of a DB. What's your preparation like? Like they named it Dimon Williams, but like just any quarterback. What's your preparation going through on a weekly basis?
Yeah, I think, not saying it's necessarily the 100% right answer. My process was prepare against the scheme of the offense first, right? So I'm preparing against offense coordinator, and then quarterback being the head of the snake, you got to prepare against how he fits into it, right? So last week, for instance, is a mobile quarterback, and that was obviously a huge part of UNLV's game plan. And you need to understand, right? So third and 4 is kind of a tricky down, right? 3rd and 4 against UNLV looks a hell of a lot different than a guy who can't really run the route in the backfield very well.
And I think UW's quarterback's another really mobile guy.
For sure.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, understanding the scheme, understanding what is at their disposal in certain situations, and being prepared for what's to come, I guess. So there's an in-depth answer, but that's kind of the simpler one.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. It's different for every team. Obviously, you have your checklist you go through in your head every week, just kind of like we did on the offensive side, but you definitely key on certain styles of play and what they like to do on certain downs and distances.
Yeah.
When did the Sky ships and when did the water bottle Selly post game start off? Did it happen before we got there? I think it did.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go 80% sure that was 14.
14.
You know, we lost to Air Force, and of course here in Boise, that was our second loss of the season. We lost to Ole Miss in the opener, and then South Carolina was a different year, but we lost to Ole Miss in the opener, and then Air Force, and it might have been the first conference game even. And so, you know, we're like 2-2 or whatever, and sky's falling. We're terrible. Coach Pete left. It was Hurst's first year. We got no chance. Like, fire everybody. We're terrible. You know, all that. And I think it was after the Air Force game, Hurst was like, hey, we're going to have some fun this year. Like, whatever. We're just going to go out there and have fun. Well, we also had Jay Ajayi and Grant Hedrick and a hell of an offensive line. I'm trying to think. Thomas Spurbeck really came on after Matt Miller got hurt.
Yeah.
Defensively, like Dante and I mean, we had Tyler Horn and shit. I don't want to leave him. Ben Weaver and
studs.
I mean, all, you know, just like guys up and down the list. And I feel like I'm just forgetting guys, and I don't want to, but we had great players. And, you know, at that point, like kind of a little bit of a burden got lifted off those guys' shoulders. And all of a sudden played like we had fun. I think the next home game, if I remember right, like Harsh just came in out of nowhere with these water bottles, like throwing, and after that, it's
awesome.
It's been great for everybody but Dale because he complains about getting everything wet.
Yeah, Dale, they all the students got towels in there, and when we moved to the front of the locker room when we were older, we were like, oh shit, all of our phones and stuff were in there, so we'd run in and grab towels, make sure we're covering all our stuff because it gets soaked in there.
Yeah, there's years of water stains or marks on the ceiling of that locker room. And
100%.
But I didn't know that, so that's a good little history.
Yeah, and it was unexpected. I mean, it wasn't planned. I think like the trainers were out there just handing out like water bottles, and Hart's grabbed a couple.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was like the last guy in and just went nuts.
That fires me up that it was Harson.
Started. Yeah, it kind of kept going from there.
Makes it even better.
It was a fun time, and I think one of those things that like afterwards people are like, oh, I guess we are gonna have fun.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing when Coach D came in. Is he was like, guys, this is football. We've been playing this our whole life since we were little kids. Let's just enjoy it and have a good time with each other and have fun and kind of take it back to how we knew how to play the game. And that changed the whole trajectory of that season. Yeah. We were having fun at practice in the locker room. Everyone was kind of getting the love for the game again after having a tough season. And it really started making us play well on the field. And it's good to see him continue to do that. Yeah. But speaking of Coach D, I know Teubner was a massive advocate for him, especially after our last championship. And cool story once that all happened, even before Coach D's real first game, we all got to take time with Coach Dickey, and the leadership council went in and sat around his long table. It was a little intimidating, but he took the time to listen to us and everyone make their case for why we want Coach D as our head football coach. And we said the whole time, we're like, we know you have a job to do during this job search, but Coach D is going to back it up. And 3 championships later, he's definitely done that.
Yeah, the audacity to sit at that table and,
for sure,
and say, watch what we do when we're all but mathematically eliminated from playing in the championship. But, I mean, I don't think those things happen by accident.
But isn't that the cool part about being a Boise State guy is like, man, if you just take care of what you can control, like sometimes it doesn't seem that likely or whatever, but it just seems like things always kind of fall into place for Boise State. And
absolutely,
I'm sure other fans, if they see this or whatever, like, let's BS, blah blah blah. But I mean, sometimes we've been in some dire straits, and all you can do is win.
Yeah.
Like, we'll just win and see what happens. And hey, there's going to come some point, like, yeah, we're gonna have to go home early, but hadn't happened yet.
Yeah, no doubt.
100%.
Keep the train rolling. We always tell stories on here, as you know. Do you have any?
BJ's bringing up other names. There we go. Kamale, Tanner Vallejo.
Jake Hardy.
Jake Hardy.
Yes,
Jake Rowe.
Shout out the BDS boys.
Yeah. There's, like I said, I would just feel like I'm leaving out half the guys that were. I mean, there were so many guys. Elliot Hoyt and that game or that year, like Rob Ash and Big Game Bob, as he was affectionately known. So I mean, we had phenomenal depth. Corey Bell. We were a complete team, and there were just, I mean, like I say, the O-line, but Marcus Henry and Mario Yaku and Reese Odiambo. I mean, there were just so many guys, and I feel a little bit like that's been a couple of these last years. Like, if you tried to say like one guy made the difference, it's so hard to say that because there were so many guys.
Seriously,
that came up big at such different times. I think like this year, early in the year, Dylan Riley kind of breaks out,
right,
and continue to have a good year. But by the end of the season, we were talking about earlier, Sire had a hell of a game.
Right,
Malik Sherrod made some huge plays in that game. And the O-line, like those guys were freaking the walking wounded.
Seriously. And guys like Chase Penry having big plays in a championship game, started balling out late in the season. Like you never know who's going to step up, but you're always confident that there is going to be a guy because there's so many great players on the field at all time. It's just a matter of time for that person to break it out.
Yeah, and I think that's probably a little bit to answer your question earlier about why it just seems that Boise State things kind of work out. Is because unlike a lot of these schools in our level of Division I football, Boise State continually has upheld the standard of being able to develop players. So when a guy comes in that hasn't maybe never even played before, it seems like he's been ready.
How about our depth at corner, right? I mean,
what's his name? Smith.
Gerard.
Yeah, Gerard. Yeah.
Gerard
Smith.
Gerard.
Yeah, he played a hell of a couple games.
No doubt.
And you think, why isn't this guy seeing the field? It's just, and maybe that's not how he was playing even week 1 of this season, right? It's just our ability to continue.
Well, and such high level play from Marion and Jeremiah Irby. Like I think that had a lot to do with it. Like, hey, here's this other guy that's balling, but
and it shows how much they get better throughout practice during the year. The competition from having to play behind guys like Marion, it just builds you into a better player. So by the end of the year, you're a tenfold better player.
And even you go back to the game before, which was probably a little bit tougher game than the UNLV game, Utah State. I mean, we had some bad breaks that made that game a little bit closer than it probably should have been. But Q Brown shows up, makes a play. I mean, different things happen, but it's so fun to watch all these guys contribute and participate and it not be one guy. I'll say this, Chris Marshall had a rough game against Utah State, battled back and did some good things in this last game.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so many guys, and that's why I'm trying to think of the right way to say this and not sound like an idiot, but I can make myself sound like an idiot pretty easily. But it's so easy as a fan on Twitter or whatever to get caught up in the moment and just kill a guy, right? Because in a sense, you don't really own that, even though you said it. But if you're dealing with these people every day, you got to have still belief in your guys, and you've seen it over the course of the year and all that stuff. And I think that's what going on at Boise State that helps so much. Is it's is that acceptable? No. Is it reality? Yeah, it happened.
Yeah.
So how are we going to build this up to make sure that we do better next time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I'd say every encounter I've ever had with a Boise State fan, I mean, the drastic majority of them have been all just awesome and wholesome.
Yeah.
Fan interactions. And I really think it is the very few that are taking to Twitter. And you're right. And it's the vocal minority. Yeah. Which, I mean, unfortunately, we live in a world where those are the people that are heard. But I get this fan base having really high standards and expectations for this team, as they should, because generations of Boise State teams have built the right to expect those things. But, I mean, there's definitely a healthy way to.
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, to me, so much of it is it's like you're in the moment. It's just fine to do that. And it's the Herm Edwards, don't hit send.
Right.
You can type it out. Just don't hit send.
I know. The way my family does it, we have a group chat with my dad, uncles, all our family members, and they just vent in there. They stay off the Twitter and they just send it in there. And I'm like, yeah, you definitely shouldn't tweet that about the Gators. They're diehard Gators. And the way that team's been playing. So we'll watch the game and it blows it up.
I do think, and you guys, I mean, whether it's teammates, coaches, whatever, there's a lot of that's not it.
Yeah.
But it's already happened. So let's figure out how to move on and keep that from happening again. Exactly. And it might be a drop ball. It might be a missed assignment. It might be a missed tackle. It might be, any one. It might be jumping off sides. It might be whatever. I mean, but it's there's a collaborative effort to help. Okay, let's eliminate that.
Right.
And fix it. Not just well, you suck. Go over there.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a great question from Robbie for you, Tubes.
And it was Sherrod Smith.
Yes.
So
There
we
go.
were in the ballpark.
It's close.
I don't know.
But Robbie said,
Shout out Sherrod Smith.
yes, sir.
Played your ass off the end of the season.
Robbie said, how would you compare the difference between watching the championship game from the sidelines due to injury versus watching the game as a fan?
Well, I got 3 experiences. I got to be on the field, on the sideline, and in the stands. I'd say both the sideline and the stands, a little bit of a bitter experience as like there's, I mean, we can all say it, like there's nothing like being on the football field, right? Like you can't mimic that experience. On the sideline was a little unique circumstance because I was battling back from an injury earlier that year, this last season, and I mean there's a lot of emotions going through, and I would love to be on the field. I just wasn't ready, but it was just so. I mean, that game day atmosphere was unlike anything I've ever seen in my life. First of all, and second of all, there's just we had a purpose that year, and there's just so much riding on that game, and to see the team kind of start fast, answer the bell time and time again, and then finish and lock it out. It was just like you just feel this burden and all this stress just get uplifted. And this last week, being former teammates with all these guys, it's you just and we've been in that situation a couple of years ago, seeing that just they've been endured, and then to be able to hold up the trophy, and it's just like they're again weightless.
Right.
So how much of a stress it's lifted off their shoulders.
For
I'm
sure.
so happy for those guys.
And you of all people, like I know you were sidelined your last year for the championship games, but like you were definitely making an impact on the sideline. It's not like
I've never seen a guy last year like trying harder to play.
Oh, for sure.
When you knew like there was no chance.
Yeah.
The team's out there.
Yeah.
Standing behind the safeties, taking mental reps. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, literally, like if they'd have cleared you 10 minutes before the game, you'd have been good to go, right?
Yeah, I would have jumped out there on one leg.
Oh, for sure.
But
and even that alone, the guys seeing you fighting to get back, they're like, all right, we're going to play for Tubes. And I know you're a vocal leader, and we're getting the boys fired up and coaching them on the sideline. So like I was saying, even though you weren't on the field, you impacted that game so much more than a lot of people recognize.
I appreciate that, but I think we had 21 of 22 starters at the beginning of that year out on the field. So
yeah,
unfortunately, I had to be the one. But
that's a shitty stat for you.
No, I mean, it also meant something to me just to be able to put the uniform on.
Yeah,
time on that field, like that was my last opportunity because the one before that, I didn't know that would have been my last game. So
yeah,
that meant something.
And a part 2 of that question from Robbie: what advice would you give for someone being forced to be stuck on the sideline and watch the game about something you're so passionate about and obviously want to be out there?
Second, unable to do anything about it. I think, hold on, let me just fully understand this question real quick. What advice would you give or have been given about being forced to be stuck watching something you're so passionate about but unable to do anything about? Yeah, I mean, it's tricky, right? Because just whether it be on a football field or anything else, like if that's
you might be in a business meeting, right?
If that's your claim, or that you believe that's your purpose or what you want to do, and you feel like you just have to sit there and watch someone else do it, you can't necessarily step on the field or in the business room or meeting room, whatever it may be. It's hard, but I've always known, like, I've had this like deep down feeling like this is what I'm meant to do, and there's no other avenues of what I want to do in my life. And it was all right. I know where I want to be. Going back to my freshman year, I know where I'm at. It's how do I get there? And we've also talked about and the illusion of choice and eliminating different things that stop you from being where you want to be. So I'm not sure I answered your question, but
I like it though. It's inspiration. I'm fired up.
No,
get
inspired.
It's great. I thought that was an awesome answer. Yeah, that was great. I thought this was a great question here. How hard are you guys on each other? Excuse me. When you make mistakes in practice, and if someone jumps off sides, etc., do you guys hold each other accountable in practice? How hard are the coaches?
Yeah, I would say we're definitely harder on the young guys. coming in, because a lot of the older guys, they drop a pass. You already know they know which mistake they made. They've been there for so long. They know the standard for themselves. When they make a mistake, you don't necessarily get on them because they already know what they did wrong, and they go to the film room and fix it, and they're going to go back out. But the young guys, a lot of times, you got to hold them accountable up front. You got to teach them the standard. And there weren't a lot of times where guys were screaming at each other and getting on each other in an unhealthy way. It was coaching them up, bringing the young guys, letting them know it's okay, because the number one thing in football and really life in general is confidence. And if you go and just hound on a kid that's probably scared out of his mind as a freshman early,
sometimes that's the trick, right? Like making sure a guy's not so afraid to make a mistake,
right? Yeah,
that he never makes a mistake, but it's slow as hell.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
There's a lot of ways to skin a cat, right? There's also a lot of ways to coach a player.
Yes.
I think you see a lot all with one coaching staff. You see every sort of philosophy kind of show up, and I think whether it be a leadership, like as a player or a coach, you got to know how to handle that specific player.
Yeah,
but I've never been a fan of chewing someone's head off when they make a mistake.
Right.
Playing full speed. Like, I don't think that's the right way to go about it.
100%.
Yeah, like you said, it might kill their confidence, and it's just unnecessary. But to add on top of that, I think that you also need to make sure that these, whether in practice, fall camp, training in the off season, you got to make sure these guys are mentally tough enough to be able to handle their emotions on the field, right? 'Cause there's no adrenaline spike then under the lights.
So that was always the deal. We always try to make, and it's still true, like practice harder in the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see tougher looks. You're going to see all that. And you want to see guys respond to it, not cower down, right? But when a guy makes a mistake, you're probably not killing him unless it's there's like can't do that mistake.
Yeah, right.
That are brutal ones, right?
Like running an out on why go, like I did. That was the one time Rid ripped me.
Okay, I do remember when you said it, but I didn't remember it before. But, like not something that sticks with me. But I think where the coaches really get involved and lose their minds, it's when it's multiple times same thing.
Yeah.
Right. That's the thing. If if you run the wrong route one time, it's like,
yeah,
I might have flipped out for whatever reason.
No, yeah.
But in general, not that big a deal, right? But if it's the same thing over and over, that's where it's like, and most of those aren't even football things. Those tend to be behavioral issues.
Right.
And I feel like most of the guys in the Boise State program that have had that kind of stuff that's been over and over behavioral issues are probably playing somewhere else at this point.
Yeah.
And most of it is I feel like it's mostly mental errors is what we hound on necessarily, because it's stuff that you can study and we know you can do.
Yeah.
And it's just making sure they do it. If it's like a technique or something, it's like, all right, let's get back to the drawing board and get that confidence right. And you guys will go out and just be able to play fast, but you can't play fast if you don't know what you're doing.
Exactly.
So that was my feeling as a player with our coaching staff. And I think that's the right way to go about it.
I think would tend to turn up the dial on coaches. But I think the other time it would tend to get going is a little bit what Tube said, just checking to make sure everybody understood this is about to get real.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
And that was I don't think it was ever even really said. I think just coaches kind of felt like, hey, we're getting close. We need to turn up the dial a little bit and make sure that the pressure is on at practice so that these guys can feel good about a game.
Right.
Yeah. And then there's, I think, probably the time for that, if there is a time to really chew somebody's head off, take it to mat drills in fourth quarters.
Absolutely.
Right?
Well, that's probably where
it
typically got way worse than in practice.
And,
100%.
And there's coaches that I've never heard swear or yell on the field, but you mess up a mat drill, which is all about locking in when you're tired and being disciplined. That habit, whether it be directly related to football or not, that's a habit you're building, and that needs to be pointed out, and it will be.
And even like spring ball, there's typically more heat going on than fall camp.
Yes.
You know, it's like, how can we screw that up? We run that play 500 feet. But I think that's where off season, whether it's training, football, whatever, a lot more of that stuff in that. You get to the season, man, it's about confidence. And,
agreed.
And I think the other thing that generally happens, like you kind of know your team a little bit better in the fall. And it's like, I don't need to yell. Like, he's going to fix that. Like, hey, man, you might give him a coaching point on if it was a drop, like 2 eyes, 2 hands, something like that. But you're not like freaking out. Like, you got to catch that. I mean,
here's a story. We after one of our fall camp practices, we were walking off the field, and Coach Stockton, our new safeties coach, my last year was his first year, and I knew we had a bad practice. The guys in the safety room knew we had a bad practice, and we all get together and do our little position talks real quick on the field before we head in the locker room. And I grabbed Stock quick. I'm like, you need to get on our ass right now. Like, we need to know that you're going to hold us accountable as a new coach. And because that's kind of our first time where as a room, we've collectively had a bad day. And I just wanted to make sure that he knew that we needed that from him.
Yeah.
So, and sure enough, he let us have it.
You're like, all right, too much.
And
you're like, I didn't mean that much.
And every single position group in their meeting stopped their talk, coaches, players included, and looked over like, damn. And it was a bad day, and I don't know if it was that bad, but it was good, though. We needed that. And there was another instance in a position room after that, now that the water's warm, that it was similar tone of voice, and tight end meeting rooms down the hall. And I remember the tight ends, I lived with one of them, Luke Voorhees, asked me like, what did you guys do? But you need a certain
you do for sure. Rid, what are like coaches meetings like before mat drills and fourth quarters and all? Do you guys talk about like, all right, we got to turn up the heat today, or like kind of take us through the mindset of like preparing for one of those hard practices?
No, I don't think there was. That's what I was trying to remember. Like, I don't remember anybody ever like saying like, today let's make it tough on these guys.
Yeah.
But I think there was a little bit of Harsh said it when he first got hired here, like 4th and 1 mentality every day.
Yeah.
And I think that was probably part of it. Like, hey, if my guys aren't on top of stuff, I'm going to have to deal with something. I'm going to have to, and we're there. I don't think it's reality to think you're going to live in the 4th and 1 mindset every single day.
Yeah.
I mean, July 4th, like it's July 4th.
It's first and goal.
But I think it's not bad to have in the back of your head, like, hey, this might be July 4th and we're having fun, but I mean, tomorrow's July 5th and we're a little bit closer to a game day.
Yeah.
And like, I can't do something today that's
right
inhibit tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably, something, and it was just, I think in general, it was the expectations of, as a coach, your guys better be dialed tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that, got pushed down to the players, right?
Right.
And then it went from the leadership guys to the younger guys. And so I think that's probably 90% of it.
Yeah.
It's not just like, and it's funny because I still see people like, oh, Spencer's, might be too nice a guy or whatever. Like he holds guys.
He definitely does.
No,
he definitely does.
There's no lack of accountability there.
Yeah. And I think he's never going to say bad things about a player to the media.
No.
And I think people on the other side of that see him saying nothing but nice things, and they assume he's always a nice guy. That's just not his approach. Like, if he's got something,
we don't need to air laundry with players
100%.
In the media. That's not the place to do it. And I've never. I mean, I think we've changed a lot, right? I mean, Bobby Knight, Bill Parcells, like they did that, but I just think today there's a better way to do it. And those conversations they're not even fun to have behind closed doors.
Yeah.
But they still happen.
Yeah.
And very much so. But why would you say anything bad about your players that could ever be now? Because if you say it, it's on video somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So why would you ever say anything about guys you're going to go to war with? Somebody else could be like, well, this guy said this about you.
Yeah.
Right.
And even though it was the heat of the moment or whatever, I mean,
sure.
it just, I don't know, doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
And talking about accountability too, back to like the fourth quarter drills, like a lot of what you guys did is set it up in a way where the players hold each other accountable, because with re-racks,
and there was 1,000% going to be, right?
For sure. And for the fans out there, when we would do drills, it would be groups of 4 or 5, whatever it is, and you had to run that drill perfect with full effort, finish 2 yards through the line of scrimmage. And if you didn't do that, a coach could call you out or a player could call you out, and that whole group would re-rack. And there was times where you would re-rack 5 times in a row because guys are getting
nothing
tired.
worse than the new guy in the drill, right?
Oh, yes.
Like you wanted everything to do to avoid the new guy in your group.
Because it wasn't just physical, it was mental too. And if they touched the line with the wrong hand, blow that whistle, run it back. And we were trying to get guys on re-racks, so that meant we had a longer rest period.
Yeah.
But you get that accountability, and you're like, I don't want to be the guy to mess my group up.
Like definitely like one group would go to the station and only one group would ever get through because they went by so for everybody else it was like a rest period.
Oh,
now, that
for
was
sure.
very rare.
Yeah.
Very
I mean,
rare.
Avery would call people out, and it was bullshit because he would call me out, and I'm like, Avery, he's like, yeah, I was just a little tired. And I was like, that's right of passage.
And Avery's not a guy to try to get out of hard.
No, he's not by
But
any
that was
means.
that was kind of the thing. Like,
Yeah.
you're a veteran and you earn the right to be on that side of it.
Yeah.
Like, I remember being in freshman in Avery's last year, and I thought re-rack was his favorite word because I'd probably average a re-rack per station, which when you're doing everything twice as many reps, like
that's not fun.
It's tiring to begin with.
No doubt. And it tests your mental strength. I remember
that's what it's all
Pitt made
about.
my group re-rack 5 times in a row after
That
doing
to
it
me is the
perfect.
whole thing. It's all mental. I mean, like the mat drills at the end.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's all mental. Like none of that. If you really stopped and thought about like how much you had to do, it's like, well, that's not really that bad.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like somebody didn't clap at the end. So you made it all the way. And one guy just shut it down 30 seconds or 3 seconds early.
Right.
And all of a sudden you're back at the start and you're like, it was always all about
It
mental.
builds that self-discipline.
And I will say this. I mean, it was probably harder than I'm leading on by the end of it.
Yeah.
But, it was, I think more guys, especially the older guys, like enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of the secret to it, right? Like the more you fear it and despise it, the worse it is. The more you enjoy it, and you're like, whatever.
Right.
Well, I mean, I think hindsight, looking back on things, like the best parts about being at Boise State are the calm and suffering moments. And it's like you wake up, you have to run decks, and you hate it. You wake up at 4:30 a.m. knowing you got to do mat drills in the snow, and you hate it. But like when you look back on it, it's like, remember how shitty that was?
Oh, no doubt.
That's awesome.
It was amazing. I remember when we were doing
I promise you there's people on here right now going, you woke up at 4:30 a.m.? Like,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh
that
yeah.
was like regular wake up time.
For sure. And we would be in the
For us
indoor
during the season. Like
Oh yeah. And then they turned it into the Bronco Olympics and the challenges outside where you get put in teams and the coaches draft them and you go out there and you're going against another team in all the stations. And I remember specifically the one that was snowed out and I think everybody was throwing up. And it was just like everybody, including.
That was one of them. Yeah, I remember that. And DJ Schramm had the best point of view because he had just had shoulder surgery. So he wasn't able to do all that stuff. And he was coming back off that in the off season. And he told me that he looked over, he saw me throw up projectile. And then you looked around, and it's just like Armageddon. Every station, probably at the same time, 20 different people, projectile vomiting. And trainers just squirt some water on it. Like, that's the sanitary approach, and it's on to the next.
So everybody that bought a square of the blue turf, just know that's what's all over it.
You bought some blood, sweat, and tears.
You did.
Some little extra.
Some breakfast.
See some of the linemen.
But
not make it quite to the porta potty either.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like and throwing up's not just to be clear, you're not getting out of any reps if you throw up. And so I remember having both hands on the sled push, hurl vomiting over, and the coach at least waited a second, let me get it out, and then head forward and just give him a nod, and we're off. And
it's like that Texas clip where the guy's about to line up to line of scrimmage, throws up, and then you're right into it, and like
just nodding.
You look around and it's savages, and that's what fired me up, because you would see guys just puke their guts out and then go right back in it like nothing happened, and that gives me the chills.
Well, I still maintain, whether it's from the off season or preseason, fall camp, or whatever. And I think a lot of it has to do with summer stuff. But, part of the reason we've played so well in those games down south or in the southeastern part is because we're in great shape.
Yeah,
that's why the humidity. Is there something to like hydrating and inferno practice and all that? Yeah, there is. But 90% of it has to do with just being in great shape.
Yeah. Well, and pushing yourself to your physical limits, knowing that when you're dead tired in the fourth quarter, that you do have more in the tank, and it's not the most tired you've ever been.
Absolutely. And then being in the weather, like being in the snow, and then you go to Wyoming and you're dog tired in the snow, and you're like, I remember this from 6 months ago. Let's get
and
it
you're
going.
making deals with the guy like, hey, is this we good?
That was awesome. I think we told it on the show before, but we were playing Wyoming, and it was 2-minute drill, and you know how 2-minute drill goes. It's just run play after run play after run play. So me and the DN, we're up by a couple touchdowns, and me and him are just going after each other for the first couple plays, and the game's over, and he looks at me, he's like, hey dude, can we just like brother-in-law each other and fake block for the rest of this game? I'm not trying to fall down in the snow right now. And I was like, that's a great idea. As long as I get my 3 on the scorecard from Red, I'm going to be happy. But that was probably one of the best business deals I made in college football for sure.
I guess this is going back to something, but Dre asked a question here. What are your thoughts about, I think there was, I'll go back up one, but somebody asked, anybody know about guys opting out of bowl games? And I would just say this, I don't, but even if I did, I wouldn't tell, because that's somebody else's story to tell.
Right, for sure.
Not mine. They'll break, if there are guys doing it, awesome, they'll have a reason, and they'll break those stories when they want to. I'm not, that's like I said, somebody else's story to tell.
For sure.
But, what are your thoughts about sitting out bowl games?
I mean, for me, I was never a super high draft pick, so I didn't really ever have to make that decision, which I'm sure is a lot harder because that's your future, right? So I'll never condemn a guy for sitting out of a bowl game when he has a lot of money and a huge opportunity on the line. Because
career, right?
Yeah, career. And if you get hurt, that could jeopardize it in a horrible way. And you're trying to provide for your family. So guys opting out,
every story's different.
100%. Like the college football playoffs, nobody's opting out of that. That's their goal. They're trying to complete their mission. Bowl games, necessarily, their season's over, and obviously you want to play with your guys, but you got to think smart for the rest of your life. And I would say,
on top of that, we don't even know really what everybody's health situation is,
for sure.
Anyway,
for sure.
So to assume that just because a guy's played every play or that he isn't hurt is probably not accurate.
Right. Yeah. But for me, like, I would never miss one. Obviously I'm not in those shoes like how Ashton was or whatever, but I'm trying to play that no matter how hurt I am, because especially your last year, like that was my last time putting pads on. I might do 37U, we'll see, but that's you want to go all out knowing that's your last game. And even if you're not a senior, you want to play for those guys that won't put their pads on after that year too. So it definitely is it's a bittersweet moment, a bittersweet game, but being able to play one last game with your brothers is something you hold true for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and I'd preface my view on it the same way as you did. Like, I just wasn't in that position.
Yeah.
I so happened my last year too. We're in the Fiesta Bowl, so that's a no-brainer.
Right.
Gentry's not sitting out that game. But I mean, I like to think that like things I believe in, like I'd still make the same decision to play. Like that's what, like I believe like you're part of a team. You play through the whole season. But what's my opinion worth when I'm not the guy?
Yeah, I don't think that's right for anybody to sit and judge anybody else, because you don't know. I mean, there's a million things you want into that. You don't even know. I mean, I'm saying this as a coach. Like, you don't know the advice that guy's getting from other people. I mean, And I mean, you'd love to think that like your advice you're giving him would be accurate and all that, but I mean, they got so much data points now about like this and that, and like you said, to me, part of it comes down to, are you healthy going into the game?
Right.
Because if you're not, like that should probably be a big factor.
For sure. And I know at Boise State too, like if a guy does choose to sit out, nobody's condemning them or making them feel bad about it. They're all brothers. They all love each other and respect the decision that person's making. So like Rid said, I don't know if anyone's sitting out. I wouldn't say it if I did, but all I know is those guys in that locker room have their back no matter what their decision is.
And I just think, I mean, that's such an individual decision that, like, I don't think it's right for me to have an opinion on what anybody's doing. I mean, if Riley had set out that, like, and I would have loved for him to play, but I'm like, well, you got your reasons. I mean, and we'd probably be on the same page of what those reasons are.
Right.
May agree or not, but at the end of the day, I'm sure as hell going to respect his opinion.
We got another great question from Robbie. Now that we're old heads, right, out of Boise State football, what's the most surreal moment outside of games that you experienced during your Boise State tenure, whether it's in the community or hanging out with the boys, just something outside of football?
Let's see. Outside of games, I don't know. I feel like I didn't really get the chance to interact with fans as much as I wanted to. Outside,
I got one for just the boys. I mean, it was football team, but this was something we all took a part of. Is after decks, we would all go to our house, the Euclid house, and have the beer die set up playing cornhole. And it was like you would have the O-line, the DBs, the safeties, the receivers. Like you had everybody from the team come together, and we're just playing games and getting competitive, something outside of football, and just enjoying each other's companies. And that's part of the reason why I thought that brotherhood was so tight, just being able to spend time after doing one of the hardest things you ever go through in life, running decks, and then being able to go celebrate and have a good weekend with your buddies.
Yeah, I think I misunderstood the question at first, but I mean, I think that was if you could bottle up what your last year, what that team was.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the LDS kids who didn't drink there. You had the 6-year seniors, the true freshmen who
weren't drinking
at all. And I mean, like you pretty much had the entire squad there, and that didn't no cliques, no nothing.
Yeah,
is the entire and it was just the team, because I mean that was the only people that were in town in the summer. So that was pretty awesome, and that was probably some of my favorite memories
for sure. And we got another one too, is coaching I-9 football during those summers. Did you ever do that with us? I'm not sure if you did. We kind of did that earlier.
Yeah, I don't know if I was a part of that one. I did a little bit of the coaching stuff, but I never.
Yeah, dude, I-9 football was awesome. We would go out. I remember driving up with Ty Neal Hopper, Billy Bones, Zach Matlock, and we would go and we'd coach these kids. And dude, it was so fulfilling, and all these kids were so awesome. And they were hilarious too. Yeah. Like they were talking trash to Ty Neal, and that made my day for sure. But being able to go coach those kids and give back to the community and also have a good time doing it with your boys that's another memory for sure. So I'm glad they called that out.
There's gosh, we got a bunch of good questions, which we're probably getting close to wrapping it up. But this is one of my favorites because everybody thinks like we're splitting atoms at halftime or something. What is halftime like for players and coaches?
I'll say going in and you get right with your boys and you find the first Uncrustable and Powerade you can find.
Orange slice.
Yeah, the orange slice is out. Oh, the trainers would walk
in
around.
college football, orange slices still
They
exist.
still are a thing. I wish they had Capri Suns, but we grew out of those. But yeah, we'd have the trainers walking around. You get with your boys, and the coaches are all getting together from the box, from the field, talking it up. But we had the opportunity to kind of talk to each other, especially even the younger guys are putting input. I'm like, what did you guys see that I may have missed or something that they're doing that I could be better at? And we're kind of having our own little talk. You're going around, going to the different position groups, hyping them up. And then the coaches come out. You can talk a little bit about behind the scenes, but the coaches come out and just tell you certain things. And it's not, like you said, it's not splitting atoms, but it's just little cues where they're like, all right, hey, this he's playing more soft off, or they're bringing this pressure that we didn't think they were going to bring as much. It's just little cues that you can take and put in your pocket for the second half.
I think, maybe the iPads even changed it more so where there's even less.
Yeah, that's true. We didn't have that.
But, in defensive secondary, you have time to maybe talk through one or two pass concepts.
Yeah.
That obviously, this is game plan, and this is showing up, and it's a beater against us. And it's like, this is how we're going to play it. And maybe just get your head out of your ass and stop the quarterback run, whatever it may be, coming out of the first half.
I just think that's always
simple.
such a great question because everybody talks about halftime adjustments. It's like Peyton Manning, I've said it on here before, but Peyton Manning was like, yeah, you go in and eat an orange slice, take a leak, and go back out on the field. I'm like, well, that's a lot closer to what it actually is.
Yeah.
When we would go as coaches and be like, hey, on third downs, we're getting more man, or we're getting more zone, we're getting more pressures, whatever. On first down, we're getting way more under front, whatever it was. But it was all stuff we had planned for. Just be like, hey, or maybe like, hey, we're getting none of this. So those plays that we wanted, we're not using those till we see it.
Yeah.
Something like that. But then you come out as coaches and you talk to the players and be like, all right, here's where we're kicking ass. Here's where they got us. Don't fall for that again, or whatever. Or if we're behind, hey, we're missing. We missed on these 3 plays. If we fix that, we're right in this game.
Yeah.
I think about Colorado State where we were down 28 or whatever. Were you guys even there yet? Probably.
No, that was the year before us, where Jake Rowe went crazy at the end.
Yeah. We come in there and Harsh is going one play at a time. That's how we're getting back in this game. One play at a time. And we're down, 4 touchdowns, just getting our ass kicked.
Yeah.
And that was our big adjustment. One play at a time.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to make a play. We'll get it going. Alexander Madison, we blocked nobody, ran for 80 for a touchdown. I think Kekoa got a pick. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden it's like boom, 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 and we're right back in it. Yeah. But there was not one schematic thing at halftime.
And you're talking to the coaches too. Right when I get off the field, I go straight to the phone.
Yeah.
And you're talking to the coaches up in the booth. So you're getting all the information after each drive anyways. And like you said with the iPads, complete game changer. You're seeing real time what you're doing and how you can fix it. So there's not a lot of coaching adjustments. It's more just small pieces that you can talk face to face with.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of horse shit that they hide all the good snacks until halftime. All of a sudden, Sam, shout out Sam. The Stinger bars. They pull out the Rice Krispie treats. It's like you go to the snack shack and you get roasted almonds and blocks of cheese, and all of a sudden it's all the treats and there's Skittles out there, and where was this all week?
Oh, that was amazing. Sam has been definitely doing a good job of being able to set us up with some of those great snacks for sure. Yeah. But BJ shouted out. I want to give a big shout out to Sun Cruiser here at the Sun Cruiser studio.
Go pick them up at Jackson's or come over here to the James, get your Sun Cruiser. Thank you to Jackson's again for sponsoring the show. But
delicious. Told me to chug it. I gave him a little half chug. I'm not going to go all out and say that for game days, but
I got my fill this last weekend.
I'm trying to see if there's anything else here that we really need to
it's kind of good. It's a away game for us.
What makes Boise State different from other programs? Why did you guys choose BSU?
I had no other options. and it worked out that this is the best case scenario for me, and that's why things happen for a reason.
Exactly,
100%. And I, going back, knowing what I know now, I wouldn't have picked any other school. But yeah, they gave me a fraction of a shot, and forever grateful for that.
And you maximized it.
Yeah,
that's for damn sure.
Both of you guys. I mean, Riley came here as a quarterback, and that was part of your choice.
Yeah.
Ended up not playing him, but it made the most out of every single opportunity you had that led you to switching to tight end.
Yeah, seriously. And like Tube said, it was like I wouldn't change anything. I mean, obviously I grew up, I had dreams of playing quarterback, but I had such a good time. And honestly, it was a blessing in disguise because being able to hang out in the trenches with those boys changed my mindset on everything I do now. Like I remember Garrett Curran every single day. He was hurt.
Yeah.
He was old, and he was like, nobody cares. Like nobody cares how you feel. And now I go to work and I think the same thing.
Yeah.
So being in those trenches changed my mindset. But my experience coming to Boise State, honestly didn't even know where Idaho was on the map. That's that Florida education.
Yeah.
But my dad grew up out here, and we grew up watching Boise State games because it was the late games. He said I could stay up to watch Kellen Moore. So always was fascinated with the blue field and the trick plays and creativity of the offense, and got an offer at the very end after they what's his name?
Zach Wilson
Went to BYU, and so I was like, let's go just check it out for Pop. Let's go see his old stomping grounds, and came out and honestly had no idea what to expect. And when we walked up to the Boise State stadium and they rolled out the blue carpet, I was like, oh, this is sweet. And honestly, what changed my whole mindset on what I wanted to do was having a conversation with Coach Harsin in his office, and just seeing the mentality he had and like how competitive he was. It aligned exactly how I lived. And he was like, we want you to come here and win games. That's what we do here. We win games. We build better men. And I was like, that's all I needed to hear. All the other offers went out the window. I fell in love instantly, and having that gut feeling, which honestly I never really had it until that point. I just knew this was going to be my home. So pretty easy decision for me as well.
Yeah.
I think we can narrow it down to the last couple here, but this is probably a good one. What's the best food you've had that is exclusive to an away venue? So I'm including that as hotel, because it's not like you guys are eating at the stadium.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to say when we went to Hawaii, and we get like it's in their seafood section at a grocery store. It's not but their poke or whatever you want to call it is you can't get better.
Where's that?
Hawaii.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that's
like the Kahlua pork.
Oh yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like
fresh fruit.
Yeah, that's why they got all those big Polynesian guys.
Oh,
they
sure.
Eat good, so
they definitely do. I don't know. I always looked forward to those night before the game meals. It was the same everywhere we went, but like we would just load up on carbs, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese steak. I don't know.
Like there was a couple like I don't know if it was like Reno or someplace like had great steaks.
Yeah. And we always knew based off of where you were, what type of food.
Yeah, there were a couple places that steaks weren't awesome.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Laramie,
Wyoming.
Eating in the diner,
but they did have good pie though.
Yeah,
the pie there was good. But yeah, the steak. I got a good steak story.
It was maybe in Reno or
I think it was Reno. I'm pretty sure it was Reno.
Yeah.
No, I remember Reno being is worth remembering. So
yeah,
definitely one of the better ones.
Like some of the
I want to say San Diego State was.
Yeah, I think so. I think
one of those. California.
But there were definitely like some places you're like,
yeah. I definitely
the ice cream.
I remember CT. Harsin walked around one game and noticed that a lot of people were eating like a quarter of their steak or like getting a lot of food and not finishing it. And he was pretty mad about it. And he was like, if you get a steak, you have to eat it. And of course, the next game was Laramie, Wyoming.
Yeah.
And it was something had to happen because it was not their best day by any means. And I was sitting next to CT and he was like, dude, I can't eat this. And Harson's just walking around like an officer. And he's like, I don't know what to do. And he just dumped it on the floor and covered it up by his foot for the rest of the dinner. And Harson's walking around with hawk eyes, and CT did not move until Harson left that dinner room. I'm pretty sure he was the last person there, but he was just hovering his foot over it because he could not finish it off.
I remember, for some reason, I remember Harson leading this nutrition talk meeting, which it could be wrong.
I think that happened.
And I remember him like going around the room like, what are some healthy snacks, guys? And he just has that stoic, serious face.
Yeah.
And people name like
I should have listened.
Yeah, meats or vegetables or whatever. And CT raises his hand. He goes, blueberry muffins. And he goes, what? And he's blueberry muffins. And we're all like, CT, that's not a healthy snack. And Harson goes, okay, next. And then yeah, CT, I love CT.
CT's
was
a
awesome.
Character, man.
Yeah, and CT, I loved having him as a teammate. Miss my dog CT, but he was not the health expert.
Yeah, but he was still cut up. So whatever he was doing was working for him.
The Hawaii thing actually made me think, though, one of the best was I think it was even during COVID when we were playing over there, and Kekala, the Kanehos, brought post-game meal to the whole team.
Oh, yeah.
And that was like, okay, this is on a whole different level than cold Chick-fil-A.
For sure. Well, Teubner got to go visit them and stay in Hawaii with the Kanehos, and he came back a changed man. Right when first week he got back, we went to the golf course, and he had this whole Hawaiian reggae playlist put together.
Yeah,
he's talking in their slang.
Yeah, I almost turned. I was almost. They almost.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all.
I was out there for 4 weeks too long. Apparently, I forgot who I was when I came back. But
I just remember
awesome.
that, like them taking care of the whole team
yeah.
after the game. Like, here's your, and like, oh, this is the best post-game meal we've
It
ever
really
had.
was. And dude, that family, just like the Hawaiian culture, like I remember getting a lei for the first time from one of them, and it almost made me want to cry.
Yeah.
I was like, this is like true family. Like I barely knew his parents, and they came up, rushed over, gave me a hug, and gave me a lei, and I was like, this is unbelievable. Just that whole environment, going out to Hawaii is a beautiful place, man.
I mean, getting laid had two different, but when I learned that, that was awesome. But I mean, also like when I showed up, Kekala was the guy who took me under his wing.
Yeah.
He is as much of a brother to me
Oh,
as
no
anybody.
doubt.
And then his little brother, Nohi, when he came in, he's a year younger than me. I was bracketed by the two of them. And he was he's one of my best friends. And I asked him to be one of the groomsmen at my wedding. And that family took me in and allowed me to stay there for back-to-back summers. And they were good, not only to me, to the whole team. And what a phenomenal family.
For sure.
Those are.
We got another good question that I know we have a good story for is BJ asked, what's our worst travel story or delay?
Yeah. You want to take this one? This
I have one.
Bradley Smith years. You going Colorado State?
Was it called? I can't remember the game, but it was snowed out and our plane got delayed.
State.
Yeah,
so it was sit on there and wait for the.
Before he gets into this is my first ever game I traveled to, and I was fired up to be a part of it. And like,
well, we played at noon, and it's like we're going to be back home at 7. We're going to win the championship.
Yeah.
So it was not so much.
Yeah.
This one, it was snowed out outside, and we get on the plane and we're all sitting down thinking everything's going to go smooth, and they're like, hey, we got to wait like an hour. We have to de-ice and all this stuff. And then the heat kicked on in the plane, and we're like, it went from freezing to just miserably hot in there. And then you just start seeing all the O-linemen one by one taking all their shirts off, just sweating up a storm. They still got post-shower sweats, and they're walking around, and we kind of threw a party on the plane and just having fun with all the boys. So it was rough, but we had a good time. You're looking back, coach starts trying to get the players in the back away from the cheerleaders. You're like, all right, let's focus up. But that was horrible. It was so hot on that plane.
We were supposed to get back at 7. We got back like 2 in the morning.
Oh yeah,
maybe even later. But I mean, I remember because it did not snow the entire game. Didn't rain, nothing. It was cold,
and there was snow in the stands.
Yeah, almost as the last snap happened, all of a sudden the snow comes down. So from that moment to when we got on the plane, it must have just dumped because, I don't know how it works out where it's too cold to fly, but the plane's a sauna. So but I remember seeing Riley Smith in his heyday back and he was one of the guys in the cheerleader section.
I don't know.
UCF was a bad one too.
UCF was awful. The travel wasn't nearly as bad as taking the 3-hour delay.
The 3-hour delay was rough, and I will say, playing in Florida, that was a common thing with lightning storms. So I was somewhat used to it, but I don't know. That one went a little long, and
Hank sitting in class.
Hank's
uniform.
I was like, Hank, you don't even go to class when we're at Boise, and now you're going to class before a game. And shout out to their fans because all their student section stayed and waited in the rain, and I think went outside and drank some more because they came back even rowdier than we left. But that flight was rough because we got back at 9 a.m. and I had class, and I was like, oh, this is miserable. And I was like, Coach, we're not getting class checked, right? Because there's no way I'm showing up to this class this morning.
Yeah, there's and I get some brutal ones. I mean, going back to, we played at UCLA, and it was like high winds. So we had to fly from Burbank to LAX to get enough fuel on the plane. Fly back. We got into we're supposed to fly into Eugene. This one I was playing at Oregon State. Flying to Eugene, the buses are meeting us there. So foggy in Eugene, can't fly into Eugene, have to divert to Portland. Well, the only buses are in Eugene, so they got to bus to Portland. I mean, they let us stay in the terminal for a little bit, then they had to open the terminal to normal passengers. So we had to leave the terminal, come back, go through screening again. Finally, I mean, we got back to campus like 10 in the morning.
Oh, crazy.
Well, I remember when we traveled to Hawaii in the height of COVID, there's no delays or anything, but you got to take a bigger plane, right?
Yeah.
You need bigger gas tanks, whatever, to make the flight directly from Boise. And I remember you're flying back right after the game. That's a 6-hour flight, and you're not leaving until midnight, their time, which is 3 a.m. our time.
Oh, dude.
And I remember, like, you got to wear your mask on the plane, and I'm not trying to be, and this isn't any sort of like anti-COVID statement, but
I'm trying to sleep.
The mask turns into an eye mask, and you're like sprawled out with your leg hanging over the seats and stuff, and the flight attendant or stewardess, whatever they're called, comes, and I got kicked in the leg 3 different times, woke up, say, sit up, pull your mask down. I was like, I thought I was,
Teubner's a rebel, dude.
The guys had the worst trip this year.
Yeah.
If you play a night game at San Diego State, that's pure misery.
Yeah.
Because you get back here at, I think they got back this year at like 7 in the morning.
Oh my goodness.
Because you can't fly out of San Diego, so you gotta bus to Ontario.
Right.
Do all that stuff and then lose an hour coming back.
And that Hawaii game,
there's some brutal road stories.
That flight for me was horrible because I was still a young guy, right? So young guys do not get the ideal seats. I remember John Bates I don't think he played, or if he did, he
played limited.
It was limited because of his hamstring. And so that was the game where I became a blocker.
Yes.
And it was unfortunate because, like you were saying about those Poly boys, they were big.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, they wanted to just call rim plays where I start on one side, run across the formation.
Because you did it so well, Riley.
I hope so. And I wasn't big yet either. But I run across the line of scrimmage, and the DN knows I'm coming, and I just have to throw my whole body into him. And so I ended up spraining my AC. And so I was in a hurting place. And I remember John Bates walks up to the front of the plane, and he's the old guy. He's the leader. So he gets the reclining bed in the front of the plane. And I'm stuck between 2 sweaty O-linemen. One of them, K. Connie, just sitting in my sling, just trying to take as much melatonin so that I can go to bed. And I was like, Bates, can we switch? He was like, hell no, I've been waiting for this seat for a long time. So I had to give it up to him, but that was definitely one of the worst flights I've been on.
Yeah, and I was in a similar boat after the Colorado State game, except these 2 sweaty O-linemen also shirtless, and they were standing up, stretching out. So I'm like, slapped in the face of my 350-pound gut. No.
That's never good.
Yeah, no, that was. But I mean, that was my welcome to traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta love those freshman travel weeks, man.
We can end it with this one. BJ, well, there's a couple things here, but BJ, I've seen it twice go by. He would really like a prediction versus Blitz versus Gronk. I think we all know that Blitz will win that.
Even though Gronk won last year.
Yeah, Gronk cheated.
But he cheated.
Yeah.
As the Patriots do, right? So
I think anyway, Blitz might be retired again. I don't know. I haven't seen his I haven't seen his weekly.
I know he
press
just keeps
release.
coming back.
It's
like Brett Favre.
Yeah. I'm back. Like the MJ.
Doesn't, and he just keeps winning. So you can't count him out.
Yeah, and my fiance she cares more about Blitz in the game than she did when I was playing. Like he's got a serious fan following.
Yeah.
So.
And the last part here, BJ, I think just offered you a job too, because he wants you to get your own show. So
that would be great.
I think we may need,
or we'll just bring you on here.
Yeah, that would be great. We need to get Tubes on as much as possible before he gets out of here and becomes a Canadian. But
never become a Canadian. I'm proud to play.
Somebody did ask, do you know where yet?
Yeah, so I'm going to be in British Columbia, Vancouver, British Columbia, playing for the Lions up there. Extremely excited. I'm not going to become a Canadian, but I'm very excited to represent the CFL and the Lions and compete and bring the Grey Cup back.
Absolutely, and it's not too far. So if you're a fan that want to go watch Alexander Teubner ball out,
might have to
just
show up
drive.
And, make sure you can show us around.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd love to.
But no, we definitely appreciate you coming on. We've been talking about this for a while. Tubes wanted to get on as a non-player to be able to tell some legit stories, but it's great, and we appreciate you guys tuning in. I know we went over, but this group could talk for hours. So
we could keep going for a while.
Absolutely. Make sure
might
you
be
guys
back next week. You never know.
Oh, for sure. Make sure if you guys can travel to the game. If not, I know there's going to be a lot of watch parties and people watching out here.
I think BJ's got something going at Bob's
That's
Pizza.
right. Yep.
I think pregame, postgame show out there.
sir.
So I keep hearing he's trying to line guys up. So
absolutely,
we'll
but
see who's out there. But somebody will be out there
for sure. And shout out Jacksons. We appreciate everything you guys do for us. And now Sun Cruiser at the Sun Cruiser Studio. But as always, we appreciate you guys, and go Broncos.
And go support the Broncos tomorrow night at Extra Mile.
That's right.
Big game tomorrow. So
absolutely.
If you can't get to the game in LA, show up and support the hoop team.
No doubt. Cool. Thank you guys.
Bronco Nation will not score. Jackson pours. Each game I score a touchdown. Head to Jackson's on Monday for a 49-cent fountain drink with Let's Go rewards. And don't forget your free banana. Jackson's. Let's go.
Find your sun with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Cold, refreshing, and made for moments like these all year long. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.